Good afternoon. Let me get some light on this. I'm getting on here right quick because what happened last night that had me reading when I was reading this morning. Because last night I was sitting out here, or most yesterday, I was sitting out here where I'm at right now because it hurts my back to sit in that chair for a long period of time now. It messes up. So I was sitting here, and I was doing all my studying here. So when I went to go back to put my Bible on the table, I just put it on the table, and then I said, I don't want it closed. I want the word to always be open. Because I believe the word can minister to you even when you ain't reading it, if you truly believe in it. So I didn't know at that point in time that when I had put it on the table and opened it up like this, that I had opened it up to Jeremiah chapter 14. And then in me taking and doing that, you can only see one chapter. You can only see one chapter in this with Jeremiah 14. That is the chapter 14. And in the way that my Bible is. See, you only see one chapter. There's only one chapter here. Only one in the whole thing. See, that's all the stuff that I did that didn't come with the Bible. There's only one chapter, and that's chapter 14 right here on the whole thing. And I just opened my Bible up, see, one chapter. And when it opened it, but I didn't find that out until this morning when I sat down to read. And when I seen that the number 14 was sticking out like that, I said, okay. And it's on the child, I said, okay, let me read this, And as I began to read it, I got down to verse 10, and verse 10 began to speak to me. So when stuff began to speak to me, I know to pay attention and to stop. So as I went to reading it, it says right here, verse 10, it says, thus said the Lord unto this people, thus have they loved to wander. They have not refrained their feet. Therefore the Lord does not accept them. He will now remember their iniquities and visit their sins. Now, I end up coming to that verse, but before I end up coming there, I was looking at this and I was saying, okay, if I pay attention to this, Jeremiah praying to the Lord. So I end up writing down in the book that I got over there, I said, start just everything they got to do with the prophets and men and women praying to God in the Bible, start writing that down and, see how they went to the Lord. You know what I mean? Because, I know that you can learn stuff, and I know that you can talk to God. You necessarily don't have to have nobody teach you, but it's always good if you have some guidance, because what God really wants is in your heart. So he wants you to talk to him about what's on your heart and come to him, with your heart open. And a lot of people got their hearts closed to God. A lot of people got their hearts hardened. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get back to verse 10. But I want to go down from verse 1. Okay, say, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning Darth. It sounds like you got a TH on the end of it, but if you move TH, you got deer. But it got a TH on it, so it's saying Darth, I believe. Anyway, that's the first book. The first verse, and it's talking about the word that came to Jeremiah concerning Darth. So I guess there must be a place or either a Hebrew word. Then I had time to look it up because I really need to get this across to y'all that's watching this and all that's listening. Because what we really doing is we making it what God ain't finna let us have that in Deuteronomy 11:11. We messing it up. Y'all messing up. Y'all just doing what y'all doing. Y'all messing it up. and it's gonna make us where we gonna be like this instead of being the ones that God is taking to that land of plenty while all this stuff is going on. Y'all messing up big time. I go to sleep with the nonsense. I wake up with y'all doing the nonsense. And you witches and warlocks just think y'all gonna just keep on getting away with this. Y'all not. He getting ready to hit y'all in the head with a sledgehammer. Okay, anyway, here it goes. It said, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning Darth. Judah mourned, and the gates thereof languish. They are black into the ground. They are black onto the ground. And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. So the cry that went up, they're crying. And so it's warning there. This is a warning. The cry has gone up. So it's letting them know it's finna be where a lot of people gonna be seeking God, but listen to what God is saying. Because he's saying the cry went up. People gonna start to cry, and watch what happens. And the nobles have sent the little ones to the water. The nobles, these people in high places, the nobles have sent their little ones to water. They came to the pit and found no water. These are people, there's nobles, okay, pay attention. And they found no water. So it's letting them know that even the rich and those that have is going to be affected by this. Not all, but some of them going to be hit hard with what's been going on. We looking at this when he mentioned water as being a physical place, okay, which it can be a physical place, and it's mentioned that. But when we read this, we have to look at this in both ways, in the physical and in the spirit realm. So God is letting it be known that stuff is going to be drying up for many. And it's going to start in the spirit realm, and it's going to start affecting us in the physical. Okay? But those who listen going to be able to navigate through this. So we need to listen to what's being said in here, because we got those that's been doing what they've been doing and doing what they've been doing. The Lord been talking to them, and they ain't been listening. So the Lord is saying this now, even to some of the wealthy, even to the rich. Look what he's saying. He's saying, the nobles have sent their little ones to the water. They came to the pit and found no water. Okay, stuff going to be drying up. They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and confounded. They was ashamed and confounded and covered their heads, because the ground is chapped, for there was no rain in the earth. Okay, the plowmen were ashamed. They covered their heads. Okay, so we know the plowmen. So this talking about also something to do with farming. Okay, which we're gonna get to this in a minute, because talking about the plowmen were ashamed. They covered their heads. Okay, didn't say no water, drought. Okay, ye the hen also carved in a field. Okay, the hen, we know there's chickens or stuff like that, and forsook it. Okay, they forsook it, wasn't nothing there, because there was no grass. Okay, and the wild asses did stand in the high place. They snuffed up the wind like dragons. Okay, like dragons. Their eyes did fail, because there was no grass. Okay, nothing for them to eat. O Lord, thou art iniquities testified, though our iniquities testified against us. O Lord, though our iniquities testify against us. Do thou it for thy name's sake. Okay, do it for just Jeremiah interceding, asking the Lord to do it for thy name's sake. For our backslidings are many. So they're being judged because of the things that they was doing when the Lord was speaking to them, and they weren't listening. Just like now, this country and other places. God's speaking, but people ain't listening. They're still doing what they want. So this is what's getting filled up on them, and this is what's getting ready to fall up on many places in the world. Okay, so Jeremiah asked the Lord to forgive sin. Verse 7 again. O Lord, thou art iniquities, though our iniquities testified against us. Do thou it for thy name's sake. For our backslidings are many, we have sinned against thee. O the hope of Israel, the Savior thereof is time of trouble. It's time of trouble, okay? Why shouldest thou be as a stranger in the land? Okay, now, this was verse 8. Let's read this again. O the hope of Israel, the Savior thereof in times of trouble. Why shouldest thou be a stranger in the land, as a wayfaring man that turneth aside to tarry for a night? So, he crying out to the Lord for the people, and, basically, letting them know acknowledge that the Lord is the Savior, because it said right here, the Savior thereof in times of trouble. So he acknowledged that God can save, that he need him and all this. But look what verse 9 said. Why should thou be a man astounded as a mighty man that cannot save? So it's saying, why should thou appear to be this way when he knows different? Okay, let's read the whole verse. Why shouldst thou be a man astounded as a mighty man that cannot save? Yet, though, O Lord, are in the midst of us. Okay, so, he know that the Lord is in the midst of us. And we are called by thy name. Leave us not. So he's saying, leave us not, forgive us. He crying out to him, letting him know, look, I know you can turn this around. You can save us. Now, verse 10. This is the verse I ended up being stuck in when I got here. Said, thus said the Lord. Now the Lord responds. Thus said the Lord. He responds in verse 10. Remember, 10 represents Yah, the hand. Okay, but look what the hand is saying, and what Yahweh God is saying. Look what he's saying. Thus said the Lord unto the people. Thus have they loved to wonder. Okay, going about the different place, going about doing their thing, wandering away from him. Okay, they have not refrained their feet. Okay, so they going to these different places, doing these different things. You know what I mean? And wandering away from the Lord. Because he said, thus have they loved to wonder. They have not refrained their feet. They have not refrained their feet. Therefore, the Lord does not accept them. Okay? He will not remember their iniquities and visit their sins. Now, I'll read the verse one more time. It's real important. Thus said the Lord unto this people, thus have they loved to wonder. They have not refrained their feet from going to and fro to different places, going into places they would worship other gods and just doing their thing. They're wandering away from him. They ain't on the right path, okay? Therefore, the Lord does not accept them, okay? Because they didn't wander away from him, walking and going to other places. He will now remember their iniquities and visit their sins. Now, watch what it says. Then said the Lord unto me, pray not for this people, for their good. Okay? Verse 12. When they fast, I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offerings and oblations, I will not accept them. But I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. Okay? This is what the Lord is saying. Now look at the word that's being in. in the last part of verse 12, but I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. Now, we need to pay attention to all the times God then had me read Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 13. I should have put that in there too. Now, let's pay attention to what Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14 says, okay? Okay, 7 in chapter 14 and 15. It says right here, Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none goes to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitudes thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence famine is within. He that is in the field should die by the sword. He that is that is in the city, famine and pestilence should devour him. Okay, that's Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14 and 15, talking about the plague, the sword, and pestilence. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 and 7. Righteous blood of the Lamb on that wicked and foul spirit of iron. And the church then embraced that spirit in a big way. It's evil. Spirit been attacking me since I got up this morning. Probably was attacking me while I was asleep. Whole time last night, the same thing. Now we in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. Look how it's making. I have trouble speaking to everything when this demonic spirit is present. And it shouldn't be. It don't want me to give just warning to y'all to try to get y'all to listen so y'all can turn back to God and get the help y'all gonna need for what's to come. Now listen to this. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 and 7. Pay attention. Verse 6 and 7. Please pay attention to this. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdoms kingdoms against kingdom. There shall be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, here again, go again, famine and pestilence. Okay, and it's talking about destruction. Now, what really got me about all this, remember I just read verse 6 and 7, is everything is always about the middle when the Lord is really speaking. And after me reading this, verse 10 was the verse that stuck out to me because the Lord has started to speak. So when I did verse 10 in Jeremiah chapter 14, all automatically went to the middle, right? So the middle speaks, flat out when you take and do it. The first part of the middle, which is 3, and it's because it's got 6 parts in here. So you go to the third and the fourth part. So the third and the fourth part, speak loud, because in the third and the fourth part, you got the number 6 and you got the number 7. I need y'all to get this. In the middle, you get the number 6 and you get the number 7. So let's read verse 10, and then let's remember what I just read in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 and 7, which equals 67, or the 6 and the 7. Let's read this. Thus said the Lord unto the people, thus have they loved to wander away from him. They have not refrained their feet from going to places they ain't supposed to, walking away from him, doing things they ain't supposed to do. Therefore the Lord do not accept them. He will now remember their iniquities and visit their sins. Now remember, in the middle you get the number 6 and 7, because you got 6 words right here, and the part right here will say, they have not refrained their feet. He says this in 6 words, comma. Okay, now here we go. Therefore the Lord do not accept them. Says this in 7 words, comma. That's the middle between the 3 and the 4 is the middle in the 6 parts. Cause when you divide it evenly, you go 1, 2, 3. 3 is the first middle. Then when you continue on to the 6, you go 4, 5, 6. So 3 and 4 is the middle. Okay, but in this 3 and 4, that's the middle, you get 7 words being said. Okay, then the next time, you got first part, you got 6 words being said. Then you got 7 words being said. So you put them together, that's 67. Okay? If you keep them apart, you got 6 and 7. Just like in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 and 7. Now let's go to Deuteronomy. And it's real important that, and help me do this the right way, Lord, because I need them to really, really get this. Now we're in Deuteronomy. Look what God said in Deuteronomy 11:11. And last year I was talking to y'all about this. Okay? And God's been trying to bless us, get us prepared, because he's been working on me with this message ever since 2016. But ever since 2018, he's been trying to give us the blessings to prepare. And he gave us a warning ahead of time about before even that the COVID thing happened and stuff. And showing us how things are going to come and how we need to get things right for what's to come. Because when this next thing comes, it's going to be just like a roll. It ain't going to be no this coming that's going to stop. We're going to constantly be going off until things getting worse until that period comes. Okay? Now, Deuteronomy 11:11. Let's pay attention to this. Deuteronomy 11:11. Look what it says. But the land, whether ye go to possess it, it is a land of hills and valleys, and drink is the rain of heaven. Now, this God guiding the people that's listening, and he telling them where he getting ready to take them to is a land of hills and valley, and drink is the rain of heaven. Now this is a good place. Okay, we know that God can make any place a good place, but he's talking to them. So we need to listen to what God is saying to the people in here, and need to pay attention to what the place where he getting ready to take them is going to be plenty. They ain't going to have to worry. It's going to be like Goshen was when Egypt and the famine and all that hit. Okay. Now, what I want to get to in the middle of this, you get the same numbers, 6 and 7. But it's the flip side of what we read in Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 10. Now, here we go. This got 4 parts to it, so the middle would be 2 and 3. Okay, now let's read. Okay, the first part in the middle got whether ye go to possess it. Talking about possessing something that's good. Okay, that's 6 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma. Okay, then the second part of the middle is a land of hills and valleys. 7 words. Is a land of hills and valley. Get 7 words. So you got 6 and 7 in the middle. And it's the people that's being guided into this land of plenty, this land where the rains of heaven comes down onto it. So you know it's a good place. Now this is the flip side. And I've been trying to tell y'all about this since then. Okay? And God is trying to make ready people for this land for what's to come. You know what I mean? And he wants them to be ready just like he had Isaac and Rebecca. He had arranged their marriage and everything. Here it is, you get the same number in Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. Look what it says. And Isaac brought her unto his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Now, you just read that right there in the 6 and the 7. This is what he got me working on with the story of Joseph. The story of Joseph come all the way back to this and even goes back a little farther, all the way back to the beginning, where God had already had it written in Adam's DNA, man's redemption, because God know the end from the beginning. But in here you see a good thing being done in chapter 24, verse 67. There's getting the people prepared for what's to come. Because you go into chapter 25, you see that Abraham is given all this wealth right here. Let me read it right here. It says right here in chapter 25, it says right here, verse 5. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. Okay? So, and I can show the numbers and everything and how all this flow. He was doing that for a reason, to take and prepare for what God wanted to do. Just like this in Deuteronomy. God guiding them, but telling them the things that they have to do. Okay, lead them to a good place. Now, Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 10 got the same numbers, 67, but in here God saying, you know what I mean, because they wondered and they went away, you know, what's to come. And I just showed y'all the 67 in different ways, and I can show it to you in more different ways. And that, matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 64, verse 4. And I need y'all to pay attention to this. Isaiah chapter 64, verse 4. It says right here, for since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither has the eye seen, O God, besides thee, what he has prepared for him that waiteth for him. Now, if you pay attention right here, you get 67 here in a powerful way. It says, what he has prepared for him, okay? 6th word when it get to him. 24th letter when it get to him. I need y'all to get this, okay? What he, 1, 2, has prepared, 3, 4, for him, 5, 6. The 6th word, now watch this. That waiteth, when you get to waiteth, okay, and you take into account it, right, okay, waiteth has seven letters in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you get the 7 when he said waited. Those that waited on him, but seeking him, but was waiting on him, stand in his presence, doing what he says. And it's making it clear. So you get the number 67 there. And this is being said in 35 words. 35 words break down to 3 plus 5 is 8. This is the beginning of a good thing. Now, read this one more time. You get the 6 and 7 there when you get to talking about him that waiteth. Okay? For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard nor perceived by the ear, neither has the eye seen, O God, besides thee, what he has prepared for him that waiteth for him. And when you go down from that, when you go down from there, when you get down to the him and you just break everything out, what's there is a number that always reflects money. Because when you get down to him, it's 41. 41 breaks down to 5. So if you're going backwards with this, with waited, with him, waited, and him, you go just to that part, you get the number 576. And I'm talking to the worldly people. Y'all know what 576 means. Y'all know what number it is. Just like y'all know what 476 is. Got to do with wealth and money. Okay? So, but it's saying for him that waiteth on the Lord. Now in Jeremiah chapter 10, we see that people, they haven't waited on the Lord. Their feet have wandered away from the Lord. Their minds, their hearts have wandered away from the Lord. So the Lord ended up talking in verse 12 about the sword and famine and pestilence. And that he wasn't going to answer the prayer for these people. Tell Jeremiah, don't pray for them because I'm not going to answer you. And the Lord don't want to do that. But if you turn to other gods, he's going to turn you over to that. Because what he's been revealing to me this year and what I've been reading, he want to bless people, but their hearts is not there. And he's been revealing this to me since 2018. Now he's sent me back to a word that he had gave me in 2018 from Romans chapter 1 to take and do. And as I got to read and I started to realize God's getting ready to turn us over, our leaders over in this country, to a reprobate mind. Why? Because they're not heeding, they're not listening to the warners. Everybody is doing what they want to do that's up in these positions, and they're not hearing. You got one side that's completely going against the word. Then you got the other side that's playing like they, are doing what they're doing for God, but they're really not. They got their own agenda. Both sides do. And while all this is going on, God is telling us, seek me, let me guide you. He already made it plain in Ezekiel chapter 8. I tried to do my best and explain that he want to have a relationship with each and every one of us so we will know. So men and women won't be able to take and whoop us with this Bible. Because a lot of them is walking up under the spirit of Satan. He wants you to be able to recognize it, so you don't go to walking that same way. God is speaking real loud. I did not intentionally put my Bible on this chapter. I just wanted my Bible open. I wanted to keep it open, so when I was sitting here and I went to go put it back on the table where I keep it at, I just opened it up. And this page that I end up opening it up to, and I found out when I sat at the table and I was getting ready to read, and I looked down, I said, okay. I said, let's see what this is saying. And I read it. And as I was reading, I got to verse 10. When the Lord started speaking, the verse started to speak. No coincidence that 67 was there. No coincidence that this was there this morning. God is trying to talk to us. God is trying to take and get us prepared because he's a loving Father. But sooner or later, what God will do when his children or his son, he'll take him, he had to take him back away from him. If you're taking and you're honoring and you're worshiping someone else, taking and following someone else. We know that a lot of things is going on right now. Ain't right. We know that. People know that. So, oh, well, ain't nothing we can do. It is something you can do. You can open up your heart to him and turn to him so he can guide you and tell you what to do, to take and be prepared. Because there's going to be a lot of people with money that's going to be losing their money. This time they not telling y'all a lie about this wealth transfer. They not lying to y'all this time. All these other years they've been telling a whole bunch of lies just to get y'all to sue and get money from y'all. But in these next couple of years, something's going to happen where people that's really been doing what God been telling them to do and stand is, they're gonna get some blessings to take and make it through this nonsense. But it's gonna be those who heart hasn't turned from it. It's not gonna be forever. You ain't gonna be able to sow no seed and get this. So don't let nobody tell you this. Oh, you sow this, down there, God gonna do this with you. He wants your heart. He wants your heart. And it's going to even be some that's going to seem like they receiving this blessing, but as soon as they get the blessing, it's going to start disappearing. Or they're going to start getting sick and going to be able to enjoy it. It's a hell of a judgment that's getting ready to hit the body of Christ. And yes, at the same time, God's going to be taking, and the people that he calling out to do, he's going to be taking and elevating them and blessing them. And others that's doing what they're doing. Two things going to be happening at one time. The world ain't going to understand it. Because a lot of them that got wealth going to be in trouble. I read y'all that part right here. Let's go back. Oh, geez, I need to get off of here. Let's go back to verse 3 chapter 14. Let's read this, then I'm going to end this. Verse 3 of chapter 14 said, they're nobles. Go and look up what noble means and then relate it to then you'll be able to relate it to people that's like highborn or high class and their highs. But look what it's saying about the nobles. Their nobles have sent their little ones to the water. Now listen what it say. They came to the pit. They came to the pit and found no water. Now these the nobles' children that they sending to get this. But when they come to the place, there's no water. We know the water represents life. In the spirit realm, we know that water represents the flow of God's spirit, because you find water flowing from out of God's throne. You find Jesus doing certain stuff at the water. Okay? Okay, so anytime you see water, you got to not just look at it as a physical thing that we drink that help us to live, but as a spiritual thing that help us to also have that is holy. Because he said, all those that are heavy laden and thirsty, come and drink come and drink from out of a well that would never leave you thirsty and dry. And out of your belly shall flow rivers of life-giving water. Where do it come from? Heaven, from out of God's throne. So here it is. We got here in verse 3. It said, and their nobles have sent their little ones to the water. The nobles. Keep this in mind. Underline it. The nobles have sent their little ones, their children, their followers to this pit or this well. And there's no water. They came to the pit and found no water. No water. These are people that God had the hand on, that they went to doing their own thing. Because he mentioned in verse 10, their feet. It says right here, and have not refrained their feet. Therefore the Lord does not accept them. Now go back to verse 3, because I'm going back and forth. Now I'm going to read this. The nobles have sent their little ones to the water. They came to the pit and found no water. They returned with their vessels empty. Empty. These nobles. Look up the word noble. They were ashamed and confounded. They was ashamed and confounded. They used to have it. They don't know how not to have. And converted and they cover their heads. Okay? We need to pay attention to that. It's going to be the people that has been used to having and really never been without. They're going to be in trouble. Some of them going to lose everything that they had. And it's going to be people that's been serving God faithfully. Whoever y'all are that been famous, if y'all watching it, continue to do so. Continue to keep your hearts open to him. It's coming. It's a reason why the enemy don't want me to get this message out about 2 periods of 7. I mean, every day is something dumb and stupid. Every day. But at the same time, you start constantly revealing to me that he's getting ready to do this. And at the same time, it's going to be people that's going to be right there that ain't going to get nothing. I'm trying to make sure I ain't one of those people, and y'all need to be doing it too. Because you're going to need the blessings that come from him to make it through this. Okay? Because our leaders, y'all really need to pay attention to this. It ain't about y'all. Both sides got a special agenda. And I'm sorry that I didn't take heed to the great thing that Mike Pence did on January the 6th. You know, he stood on what was right. You know, I should have been, speaking up on his behalf and showing that he is a man that really loves his country and his people. I end up wanting the governor in Florida to win. I came, DeSantis, I wanted him to run and win, but I had not looked at what Mike Pence had did, and that other woman, I can't think of her name, but she stepped down. Her father was real famous. Can't think. I wish I could think of her name. Forgive me. And you look and you see that both of these was Republicans, but they were standing for the right thing. And you pay attention to the things that they stand for. You know they was for the right thing. And this man was running, and I didn't open up my mouth. to say, hey, this real good candidate. The man don't want nothing to do with it. But when I seen yesterday how he said he couldn't embrace with that, it let me know that the whole time I was seeing that other people should have been able to see, but we didn't. We had someone that truly believed in the Constitution and taking to doing things the right way. And we let somebody with a sound mind get away from helping them. Two people, really. I wish I could think that there's a woman named, oh my God, she stepped down. She been serving, her father used to serve too. You know. Oh my God, Lord, help me remember her name, please. Oh, I can't think of her name right now. But she ended up stepping down. We got good people that really love this country, really stands for what's right, and we overlooking them, y'all. And it's gonna hit us in the head real hard, because we need somebody that got a sound mind, in good shape, healthy, because forgive me, I'm getting ain't no time for the nonsense, y'all. Y'all see these storms getting worse, and they're going to get worse and worse. Some of these storms going to cause some real bad problems, with our stock, our food thing. Hundreds of billions of dollars in damage this year alone. Because things are really going to increase in that part. So is the earthquake. Still picking up big major earthquakes in the Pacific. And I was picking up something was going to go wrong in Haiti, but I thought that it was going to be an earthquake. I still believe that it's going to be a major earthquake that's going to hit somewhere around near Jamaica. Okay? The Pacific, all up and down there. It's stuff going on up under the water that's, it's coming. And we finna see a lot of shakings in this way with these storms, these earthquakes, these hurricanes, and all kinds of stuff. And we truly need to be praying for our children when it starts getting warm. Because it's a lot of these scorpion spirits and these other spirits that's been released just this year alone that I've been seeing in the spirit realm. A lot of them. People going to really be acting up, and I know that some prayers God will answer and some he won't. Because some things God has been warning us about to change that we haven't. So remember the nobles. Remember verse 10. Remember verse 14 and 3. Remember chapter 14, verse 10, 11, and 12. Remember Deuteronomy 11:11. That's what we want. We want Deuteronomy 11:11, and we want Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, and 25 and verse 5. That's what we want. We want our Father to bless us, in every way, and our family in every way, to bring us to him to do what he wants to do. We don't want what's being mentioned here in chapter 14, verse 1 to 12. We don't want that, but that's what we're getting ready to get because we're not listening. We don't want what's mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14, 15, and I meant to read 16. We don't want that. We don't want this right here. Let me go back to Ezekiel chapter 7, and I want to just read this right here. Because y'all, Ezekiel chapter 7, and I promise I'm getting off after this. Really am. Ezekiel chapter 7, Okay, Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 23. I've read this to y'all many of times. Many times I have. Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 23. It says, make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crime, and the city is full of violence. Now, in here, you was able to find the year 5783. We seen what happened in that year, with the violence and the wars and stuff going on that over there with Israel. You got the year 5784. We see all the stuff that's going on right here. And the Lord is taking the one. You can find both of those years in this verse. Now, we see what's going on. And if we go one verse up and one verse down, like I was taught, by Pastor Grant, it says right, verse 22, it says, my face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place. Now, why is God going to turn his face from them, let them pollute his secret place? Because in that place, if we go to Ezekiel chapter 8, we see that they're not doing right. Go and read chapter 8. We see that they're not doing right, so God is backing away. Just like he's getting ready to back away from us here because of stuff that's going on. Okay? Verse 22, my face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crime, and the city is full of violence. Verse 24, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathens, and they shall possess their house. I will also make the pumps of the strong to cease. Their holy place shall be defiled. I'm going down to 27. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophets, but the law shall perish from the priests, and counsel from the ancient. Their king shall mourn, and their prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hand of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, not his, after their ways. And according to their desires will I judge them. Their desires. He's so holy and so right. He's going to judge us according to our desire. And things that we do, not according to him or his ways, but according to the way that they see things wickedly. He's going to let wickedness befall us. He's going to let wickedness consume. Right? It's right in the verse. Say verse 27, the king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hand of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their ways, and according to their desires will I judge them, and they shall know that I am the Lord. He's going their ways. He's talking about turning us over to a reprobate mind in this country because of the leaders. So he's telling his people that are listening. Verse 23, he's telling us, come together, start working together, start fighting one another, and listen so we can be ready. He's saying, verse 23, make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Make a change, come together. Okay? And don't have our agenda, but God's agenda. Too many in the church got an agenda that's not God's. All right, I'm going to get off here, but y'all know who y'all is with the dumb stuff. I'm trying to take and get this where y'all can see how this with Joseph was pure love from God. Pure love. Pure love from God and for his people. The ones who had their heart, pure love. And it's not gonna lie, it's been overwhelming for me because I'm finding all this, and I have ways of expressing, then I lose because I'm constantly fighting with you witches and warlocks. They call yourself God's children, doing this wicked, and I'm constantly fighting against my own people. like crabs in a barrel. Y'all don't want to see nobody come up that even want to help y'all. I done sacrificed a whole lot in these last 15 years. I done put up with stuff I would have never put up with back in the day. Because I don't want nothing to do with that old man. Period. I love this word, and I love God, and I love God's creation, and that's y'all. Stop the dumb stuff, y'all. This is finna get serious, man. Real serious. He just wanted. He just wanted. And y'all yourself, go and read the story about Joseph. Understand it. From 37 all the way to read it and understand. Let it talk to y'all. That's where we at right now. I love y'all. Have a blessed day.